This video is powered by LearnToPlay.live, the only hardware synth performance course. Register now and enjoy 40% off. Say you want to make a melodic house track, but what if you want to make it away from the computer? How are you going to go about it? What are you going to use and how are you going to set yourself up? Lucky you. That is today's video. Let's go and do it right now. Hey, what's up, I'm Melodic Kitchen, and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. I'll tell you all about Superbooth, as we're doing an event there. I'll tell you about the mixer that's almost finished, and I will tell you all about the Dawless Bible, so stay tuned. A melodic house track. You know the genre, you know guys like Ento, you know guys like Waracles, you know guys like Elkie Klein, you know guys. There's a lot of artists that are actually making that type of music, but most often I do see them perform in the DJ kind of realm. They play with USBs or whatever. So if you would like to do that live, as you know, not something that is done with Ableton, just something you would like to do away from the computer, how are you going to go about it? Melodic house per se is a genre that is deemed a little bit different. You know, you have to do some melodics, and it's easy to make techno, for instance, because you can do it with an octatrack. Loop-based electronic dance music is going to be completely different than if you have to make melodic electronic dance music, which means you have to compose a track, which means you need more synthesizers. Can you do it? And how are you going to go about it? It's easy. Ableton is a one-stop shop, everything in a box. We all know that. You need a laptop computer, one controller, and pretty much you're off to the races. But what if you would like to do something a little bit more advanced? Now, I do realize that the setup that I have on the table is not for everyone, but you don't necessarily need all the synths that I have on deck. It could be done easily. So I'm going to get into my license and explain what you could do with the gear that I have, with what the alternatives are as well. So don't be overwhelmed by what you see, just follow along and you'll notice that, yeah, it's quite easy. Now, the way I've done it is you have to look at an electronic orchestra. Keep that in mind, electronic orchestra, which means different segments do different things. And that's how I look at it. I look at my live set as an electronic orchestra, which means the manual of certain boxes deem you to go in a certain direction. Don't listen to the manual, go with your gut. So in my case, I've got an octatrack taking care of drums, I've got something else taking care of bass, I've got something else taking care of the lead melodic line, and that is exactly where you need to go. And how many ingredients would you need? Stay tuned. Now, let's go over to the live set and I'll show you on how I get that thing going. Welcome to my live setup, and if you watch this channel, you know exactly what it's all about. We've got the AKM1 mixer sitting right here, meaning this is finally coming to completion. Not yet, but it's almost there. Now, this is a Dawless mixer, meaning it's made for live performances. You can also play vinyl on it, you can also just like DJ, whatever you would like to do, but I have created the concept with playing live music in mind. I'm not going to go over what it does because I'm going to link a video to where I explain at length what this thing does up in the corner somewhere. Where's it? Here or here or here or here or somewhere. You'll find it. Let's go over what I have though. We've got the MX12, which is a Faderfox MIDI controller. This thing by itself does not make any sound. It just only controls parameters on other machines. And I've connected it to the octatrack, which is the brain of the operation, meaning if I start this button or stop this button, everything else will either start or stop. Right? Cool. Now on the octatrack I've got like 8 or less, but you know, a minimum of 5, a maximum of 8 different sounds that I use. Various sounds I might add. Some of them drums, some of them loops, so you'll see how I use that. The Akai MPC-1 over here is connecting and collecting MIDI information, meaning I play stuff into this machine, right? So I'm playing stuff into this machine so that it records whatever I would like to play. And I'd love to look at my whole setup as a band, so I'll call these my band members. This is my electronic orchestra, meaning I give different tasks to different machines. Some machines just remember which notes they need to play. Other machines have got their own clock, meaning if I start the master here, the octatrack, internal clocks on different machines are going to run, namely the TB03, which is my acid machine right here, and the black box. They've got their own clock, and the black box is my little flirt with the outside world, because using synthesizers and drums mainly means you're going to get a certain sound. Now, if you listen to Yazoo, if you listen to Depeche Mode or all that old kind of synthesizer stuff, you know exactly how cool it is to listen to that stuff. But you know, Melodic House, it tends to be a little bit more modern, which means that you need sometimes a means of playing some new school sounds into your mix, and I do like a hybrid of those two sounds. Now, I've got an acid box connected to one of the outputs of the black box, meaning I get to filter stuff on the black box. Now I hear you say, but there's a filter on the black box, why are you not using that? What I don't like about the black box filter is that when you turn it to the left, it's going to be taking out all the lows, and when you turn it to the right, it's going to take out all the lows. So it's low on one side and high on the other side, but you never pinpoint where the middle is, which is, you know, I just need my sound to be gone and to be coming back at the exact same level, otherwise it will do something with my mix. Then here is the almighty Subsequent 37, of which I'm not sure we're going to use it today, but it's here. It's in my current setup, as well as is the Tetra, sitting right here by Dave Smith. So we've got a nice variety of different sounds. Monophonic, minitar, paraphonic, subsequent, and then, 4 oscillators, so you can call it, multi, you know, this thing. So you can play chords on this, play paraphonic 2 notes on this, and this, no matter how many notes you'll press on the keyboard, it will only play 1 note at a time. In my sound, in the way I set up my tracks, I think that electronic music for me has to have a catalyst, something that drives and propels the beat forward, and I'm always using that with a TB03. Now everybody knows acid house music, you know the whole story about DJ Pierre, who is a teacher on Learn to Play Live actually, but this thing does drums and bass into one kind of sound. With the lower frequencies and with the ghost notes, you get that hint of percussive elements. Now, if I'm taking out the kick and I'm just going to play what this thing plays, it plays this. There's a line that I've already programmed on it. If you wonder where the reverb is coming from, that is coming from the send on the mixer. Now it's dry, with a little bit of delay. The delay comes from the TB03. I can also say, like, let's go in and go to function and go to delay type. And then if I'm, there's tape delay, now it's reverb. So there's reverb on this as well. But to be honest, I'll probably go for the tape delay setting, which I love. I love the tape delay setting. And then use my Strymon Black Sky limited edition. Come on, this is a different kind of reverb, right? Yes, I can hear you agree. Thanks. So nice of you to agree with me. Well, okay, that's as that goes. This, together with a kick drum, sounds like this. Ooh. Dry, a little bit of reverb. A little bit of delay. So this is the catalyst, because in my brain, in my perhaps simple thinking, this is already dance music. I can dance to this. This is already like inviting me to just dance, and that's exactly what I want. Yeah, so that's what I want from you as well. You hear something, instantly you need to think dance. Cool. But I can't keep this up like forever, so this thing is going to be a catalyst in my groove. Speaking of groove, let's go over what kind of drums I have. So for now, I will just lower the TB03 and I'll lower it. I'm not going to kill it, lower it, and I will look at the different drum sounds that I have. Like, Here there is a bit of a cadence, as you can hear, on high frequency content, meaning this high frequency content now needs to just like be very predominantly active, but not overpowering, because this is what you hurt people with. You'll hurt people more with high ends because it's going to just like screw up their hearing, instead of low end where you just like die happily, but it's a more pleasant way to go than with high frequencies in your ear. So mind you. So and you can hear it does this. And as you can hear with the TBO3 in the background, there's a call and response pattern happening. So the accent of the beep beep, doot, doot. There's a little bit of a gallop within the groove on the hi-hats that you can hear that corresponds to the TBO3 as well. With the kick drum. Nice. Now, in order to break stuff up, because you know you can just go in with this and just have it like this. Sometimes if you use a snare drum on the 2 and the 4s, it will just break up the beat. For now, I'm just thinking I want the track to just do that exactly, right? So I'm going to play a snare drum that also does a few things. Listen carefully. There's a short one in the beginning and a longer one in the end. So there's a bit of a pulsating thing going within the drums. Let's see where I am here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Yeah. Okay, we're all aligned. Nice. Now this is all nice and dandy, but if I would like to create this track into a song or a track or a record or whatever you want to call it, something that we can dance to, first I'll add some more drums. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Now this sound that you hear right here, I deliberately play stuff like this because if I'm using a TBO3 and that's also playing 16th notes that you can hear, you can hear, then sometimes if I lower the TBO3, you lose transients. And with transients, I mean the articulation of the sound. So I'd like to add something in my drums that will like emphasize what other elements, tonal elements are doing. And I prefer to do it with drums. So drums will emphasize the TBO3 sounds. Now this is very loud in the mix, but if I lower it, listen to what happens to the TBO3 still. If I turn it off completely, just forget the reverb on the TBO3. Let's turn it down. Sound again. So this is a trick to just emphasize a little bit more what you're doing. So if you play something and on a TBO3 or whatever, or something that plays 16 notes, it's cool to just like have tonal information and have percussive information. That's what's happening right there. Cool. So what we have right now is, so it instantly gets the thing. And what I was saying about that, I just can't get enough kind of Depeche Mode vibe. Listen to this. Boom, ga, boom, bam. It's a little bit more sparse, it's a little bit more rigid, you know, a little bit more staccato, and that's not bad, but I tend to find that if I'm performing for longer than 2 hours, then that staccato, that sort of like sparseness, is not really adding to the longevity of the listener's attention, you know what I mean? So what I would like to do is hide a few of those things in the background. Now, what we also need is more hats. Now we got, as you can hear, there's some sort of a seesaw going with the high frequency content, which is absolutely amazing, in my honest opinion, and that is really cool. Now, this is for as far as I think I can take it with the Octatrack and the TBO3. I would like to add more stuff to it, obviously. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at, can we add more music in? There's an arpeggio that I always think you need for Melodic House. So I'm going to play an arpeggio coming off the black box, because I got a row of samples that I'm going to use. This whole left row, top to bottom, which is the left row on this MIDI file sitting right here, corresponding, is samples that I can launch, much like Ableton, and it's going to help me with my track. Listen to this. So you can hear it, nice. So that's all nice and dandy, but something is off, obviously, because the TBO3 is not in the same key as this track. Now, I can program it beforehand, but luckily I get to just do that stuff on the fly, so I'm going to pitch the TB03 to this ostinato playing thing here. That's better. Now there's a few things that you can do. I mean, I can obviously pitch it down an octave. Am I here? Yeah, I'm there. It's better to hear from me now. Yep, now it corresponds. Taking out the ARP. Putting a reverb on there again. Reverb is also panning, people. Panning obviously is placing the sound within the spectrum, either left or right or somewhere in between. But reverb does that thing horizontally, I say. So it will go into your music or outside of your music, swamping the sound in. You can hear that it now just drowns it out a little bit, but it gives it more character. And character is what people need in order to orientate themselves where the sounds are coming from, especially on a big dance floor where the sounds get exaggerated and elevated and, you know, taking out of perspective somewhat. It is cool to understand what's happening, right? I'm going to take out a little bit of the EQ on the TB03 because I don't want it to be too there. So, I'm going to make it a little bit more percussive. Now you can hear all the notes. And now we're going to... Right. Because I need more sounds to go within my tune, right? Within the track I'm doing. For instance, this vocal bit that I have. Because I love to play with long information that just spans out over the duration of the pattern. The pattern's got 8 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. One note. There's not a note. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 notes that this vocal sample has. That spans out over the length of my whole pattern. And then the TB03 is taking care of every other thing in the middle, and the kick drum is just pulsating forward. So now we got longevity on our track. Now we get people clued in. This is the Wide Awake Club. This is speaker hogging material. Then the arpeggio obviously is going to just do that half note thing. So with the 16 notes here and the 8 notes here, we've got this. So now the track goes somewhere, right? Now we can add stuff in, take stuff out, make a breakdown. Let's try that. Drum roll. Woo. The only thing I took out was everything else but the kick, right? You can hear it. Fill it up. Drum roll. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and back in. So. Well, what if we were to introduce a chord change? That's very important to introduce a chord change. How are we going to do it? Well, as you so adamantly watched, there are 4 different cells on the 1010 black box, and we're only using 2. So what are the other samples all about? Let's play them. I'll just go in with a kick solely. Play the kick. Play the TB03. No. So this is all on the same root note, right? Nice. But what happens if we're going to play or introduce a chord change? Something like this. Nice. But that's a chord change that I've already made up, and that's on a rave sound. Let's play that. That plays this. There's a lot of chords here. Ooh. Right? That's quite different from where we came from. So let's see if we can do something with the bass line, yeah? Let's find the bass. Let's Okay, that's nice. And I think that I'm also going to go for 16th on this bass line. So I know what the notes are. Easy, set. It's this note, this note, this note, this note, this note, and this note. It starts on here. That's the line, right? So I guess that's one way of doing things. Let me know how you are doing it, and let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so this is how I'm using it. If you want to see that thing live, you can come to Berlin. I mean, Superbooth is up on us. That means that the whole world is going to be in Berlin. I mean, at least if you're into synthesizers, that's going to be your one-stop shop, so you can check that out. I am going to be there. With me is Tomo, and there's Joseph, and there's Brent 45 kilohertz. There is Rough Life. There's going to be a lot of artists. Honey Smack is also on the roster. We're doing a party the 9th of May, and that's going to be at Urban Spree in Berlin. Now that's during Superbooth, obviously, and you know, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's going to be really cool live, you know, live thing. Everybody's going to play a Dawless live set. So whether it's be modular, whether it be just synthesizers and groove boxes, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Circle, but let's not forget Eric. Eric's also going to be there. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Not in the last place, because Berlin seems to be the epicenter of what people see as electronic music at the minute. So to do a techno-driven event, Berlin is the place to be, and we're going to be there. Now, if you want to come say hi, by all means, you are invited. As well as you saw the mixer on deck, that's really something that I'm very proud of. It's nearing completion. There's a few things that I still think that we need to add to it, but it's starting to become something, and it sounds like a brick wall. That's exactly what we want. Now, anything else? I was thinking, yeah, the Dawless Bible. The Dawless Bible is something that you can find on patreon.com/analogkitchen. That is a PDF of me talking about everything that I basically got in my mind, in my head. How to connect your gear, how to travel with gear, what to buy, what not to buy, how to solve gas. You know, there's a few things that I came across when I started out that I wished I had something around me that could help me out with that. So I thought to just create a Dawless Bible. You can find it on patreon.com/analogkitchen. It's always growing, so if I add more stuff or think of more stuff, I'm going to add it to it. So that's the ever-growing almanac called the Dawless Bible. Not only that, when you sign up to Patreon, you get a bridge into Discord, and that's where the community congregates. That's where we talk shop. That's where we do our video chats after this video premiere, if you're watching it live. And yeah, it's cool. Respectful people talking about the same stuff that, you know, we're talking about. How to connect your gear, how to mix your tracks, how to connect your equipment, what to buy, what not to buy, and so forth and so on. Now, if you made it this far into the video, you, sir or ma'am, are an absolute superstar. Thank you for watching. My name is Analog Kitchen, and I'm out. Peace.
Can you feel that my love is real? That my love is real?